How would you deal with the Brotherhood of Steel if they didn't align with your faction's goals and ideals? Hey Scrubs, it's Retro. In the last episode, the Prydwen arrived in the Commonwealth, much to Nate's dismay. They arrived with airships, gunships, the Prydwen itself, which is just a floating fortress. From the limited interaction we've had with Dance all the way back in episode 3, it's clear to Nate and his companions, his entourage of followers, his close inner circle, that the Brotherhood have a certain way of dealing with people and things, and if you do not align with them and they consider you an enemy, then you are in big trouble. So the purpose of this episode is going to be to infiltrate the Brotherhood. We need to get aboard the Prydwen under the pretense of joining their faction. We need to scope it out and plan how we're going to take them out, and we're going to do that from within. I think that's the smartest way to go about defeating this enemy, because in a straight up fight, they're going to wipe the floor with us every time. We can't afford to be fighting them in the streets across the Commonwealth. They have the advantage. The power armor is so heavily buffed through mods and things like that. We need to strike first, strike fast. Cobra Kai! And as well as that, we've got the railroad working on schematics for our molecular relay. Now at the end of the episode, we'll go by and pick those up and start building that device so we can teleport into the Institute finally and come face to face with the boogeyman. But for now, it's time to meet Dance at the police station and see if he'll give us a pass onto the Prydwen.
To spend a whole case of ammo holding this site.
Suppose that means we missed all the fun. No one's gonna move on this place now that the Prydwen's in town.
Cavalry's arrived, and it looks like they sent in the big guns.
The Brotherhood isn't exactly subtle when it makes an entrance.
There's no reason to be subtle when you have that in your arsenal. We call our ship the Prydwen. She's loaded with enough troops and supplies to mount a major offensive. If she's here, Elder Maxon's here. And that means we're going to war.
And Nate is thinking in his head, once they've beaten the Institute, are they just going to leave? Not likely. They'll occupy the Commonwealth.
I'm guessing that diplomacy isn't on Elder Maxon's mind.
Ain't no one in the Commonwealth wondering about your intentions now.
What's the matter? Don't like kicking in the door? Don't worry. You'll fall in line with our tactics sooner or later. That being said, you're about to get to know the Prydwen up close and personal. I've received orders that we're both to report to her immediately. Follow me up to the roof of the police station. We're going for a little ride.
And that's it. His arrogance means that he's basically inviting us onto the Prydwen, and we will go happily, we'll play along, might do a quest or two, but we're going to get onto the Prydwen, we're going to see what's going on up there, we're going to look for any weak points.
That minigun in front of you is loaded and ready to fire. If you spot anything hostile during the flight, I suggest you put it to good use. Make sure you properly identify your targets before you start shooting. We don't want to have any mishaps and fire on the locals. It never ceases to amaze me how drastically your perception of the battlefield changes from the air. We're gonna need that edge when we take on the Institute. They've already proven that they're technologically superior, which means there's no telling what types of weapons they'll have in their arsenal. Hopefully, our air superiority and tactical know-how will make the difference. Now all we have to do is find them. And I'm betting that Elder Maxon will have a plan already in place by the time we arrive. I wish everyone down there believed in our cause, but they've been blinded by rumors and misinformation. They don't realize that the Brotherhood of Steel is the Commonwealth's last hope for survival if we fail. It's only a matter of time before the enemy overwhelms the population. Cleansing the Commonwealth is our duty, and I will gladly spill my own blood if it ensures our victory. Final approach to the airport. The Prydwen should be coming into view just ahead. We'll be meeting Lancer Captain Kells on the flight deck. Stick close to me and answer all of his questions. There she is. It's been far too long since I've been aboard.
Permission to come aboard, sir?
Permission granted, and welcome back, Paladin. Allow me to be the first to congratulate you on a successful mission. And is this our new recruit?
Yes, sir. I feel promoted him to initiate, and I'd like to sponsor his entry into our rankings personally.
Yes, we've read your reports. You'll be pleased to know that Elder Maxon's approved your request. Your orders are to proceed to the command deck for the address, after which Elder Maxon wishes to have a word with you.
Things tame? Hardly.
Love Hancock, he is amazing. Okay, so Nate is taking all of this in, we're evaluating, looking for weak points and trying to get a general idea of how best to assault this beast, this behemoth.
Brothers and sisters, the road behind has been long and fraught with difficulty. Each and every one of you has surpassed my expectations by rapidly facilitating our arrival in the Commonwealth. There is a cancer, known as the Institute. A malignant growth that needs to be cut before it infects the surface. They are experimenting with dangerous technologies that could prove to be the world's undoing for the second time in recent history. The Institute scientists have created a weapon that transcends the destructive nature of the atom bomb. They call their creation the Synth. A robotic abomination of technology that is free-thinking and masquerades as a human being. This notion that a machine could be granted free will is not only offensive, but horribly dangerous. And like the atom, if it isn't harnessed properly, it has the potential of rendering us extinct as a species. I am not prepared to allow the Institute to continue this line of experimentation.
I care about them, you know. The people of the Commonwealth.
Care about them? I thought we were preparing for war.
The Brotherhood is here to prevent a war by starting one of our own.
Don't worry. I'm convinced.
Paladin Dance's reports were quite clear regarding your feelings toward the Brotherhood. And he concludes that you'd be an asset to us. Seeing as he's one of my most respected field officers, you couldn't get a better recommendation. Once you're finished becoming familiar with the Prydwen and my staff, report to the flight deck for your new orders. Welcome aboard the Prydwen, soldier. Make us proud.
Yeah, Maxon's not budging on his ideology or the way that he wants to conduct warfare. For Nate, there's just no way around this. We'll have a chat with Dance about it and see if there's any chink in the support that he has, but...
Maxon seems so young compared to everyone else. You're okay with that?
Don't let his age fool you. Maxon's a brilliant tactician, a formidable warrior, and possesses an idealistic vision for the future of the Brotherhood. I'd follow him anywhere, without question.
Yeah, so Dance isn't wavering, as is the majority of the Brotherhood from Nate's perspective. We're going to meet the other people down here. I gotta be honest, I'm not going to go into detail here. Simply put, Quartermaster, new suit of power armor, Proctor Ingram, she looks like a wild ride. Can I say that? I just did. I think that we're looking for a place of ingress, somewhere the Minutemen can start their assault from. And also, it looks like, because they sleep and there doesn't seem to be that many people up and about at night, I think Nate's, it's insidious, but Nate's considering ambushing them while they're asleep.
Now that you've familiarized yourself with the Prydwen's crew, are you ready for your next assignment, brother?
Yes, Elder.
Good. Let's get right to it then. Shall we? Take a look over there. That's Fort Strong. And it's infested with super mutants. Having those aberrations of nature close enough to smell is making me sick to my stomach. To make matters worse, they're sitting on top of a massive stockpile of Fat Man shells we could use in our campaign. I want you to head over there, wipe out everything that moves, and secure that stockpile. Understood?
Consider it done.
Target acquired. I'll try and keep him in your sights.
Careful. There could be more of those around.
Primary target down. Look at this thing, please. I'm gonna find a place to set her down and then hightail it back to the Prydwen for repair.
What an amazing assault. And I think that Nate would have been thrilled to be part of that, reminding him of his pre-war days when he was serving, but also he's probably terrified because that was an organized slaughter.
Sweet.
We're going to move quickly through here, secure the armaments, and get back to the Prydwen. Look at all of these. Every green crate is absolutely chocker full of mini nukes. Yeah, Nate is thinking that the Brotherhood cannot be allowed to retain this much power, this devastation. We're against the clock now because they're getting better supplied, they're getting logistically set up at the Commonwealth. We need to act fast.
You must hate these mutants as much as I do.
Absolutely. Wiping them out was a pleasure.
I wish all of mankind shared your sentiment. Anyway, that's enough of that. What's important here is that you got the job done and secured these warheads. You should head back up to the Prydwen and talk to Maxon. I'm sure he'll want.
What Dance doesn't understand is the next time we're on the Prydwen, it's going to just completely destroy it. We're going to blow it up, bomb it out of the sky, kill every single Brotherhood of Steel operative we can get our hands on, and just strike them where they rest, where they sleep, where they're the most vulnerable, because their arrogance it won't allow them to think that anyone would ever attack them in their sky fortress. That's why it's perfect. Now we're going to go back to Tinker Tom, get the schematics, and start building the molecular relay at Starlight. Let's go.
The Brotherhood are our enemies. There's no possibility of peace. Tinker Tom will be spearheading a fail-safe plan to deal with this Brotherhood. Codename Red Glare. But for now, we monitor them and keep them clear of our operations. You've all got jobs to do. Do them.
You got the platform built yet? Tick-tock, tick-tock. I'm waiting for the good news.
I did it. The platform's constructed.
And I filled in the blanks on the blueprints. We can actually build this crazy thing.
Always an ambush. Yeah, this coast unit's usually stealth play, I think. These patrols are so dangerous. Yeah, Nate's going to take his stuff and leave it for the dogs. This is the new Starlight, and it's slightly different to how I left it. I'd been building a little bit. This tree and the flag is just so ominous. There are a few people hanging in the tree. I think the vanilla endgame gets a lot of things wrong, but what it gets right is this molecular relay. It's so cool. That Stargate moment of going through the wormhole. Mwah, chef's kiss. Right, let's get the nerd on the computer and see what happens.
Hey man, need help with the signal interceptor? This thing is gonna be huge. We'll finally learn about what the Institute's really up to, man.
I'd still like to talk.
Now what I love about this is Deacon's going to open up to us and basically say, look, I'm a synth. And it's bullshit, but Nath doesn't know that. But at this point, Nath's going, damn, I've got a good man here, but he's got some convictions in terms of siding with the Railroad's ideology. That's a barrier in itself, but now Nate knows he's a synth, or thinks he's a synth, because he's been told he is, because Deacon likes to fuck about. So he's wary of that recall code at any moment. Could just pop in Deacon's head and he can go postal Order 66 style. That's a big red flag for Nate.
So stand still. You gotta lock in all those molecules of yours. Hopefully we won't miss any. There's only, 60 trillion of them. All right, feeding our baby some juice. Let's see what she's got. Oh man, don't worry. That's all part of the plan. Establishing lock on the Institute signal. Got the RF. We got it.
If you're part of the 70% that likes to watch but isn't subscribed, consider doing so. It helps the channel out. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Assault on the Institute next episode and taking down the Prydwen, Turkey in the sky. Peace.